What is up everybody, my name is Pete and I play music. A little bit of a somber video today. As we all know, the great Eddie Van Halen died last week and it sucks. He was an absolute total icon of the guitar and metal world. You only have to look at the outpouring of love and tributes to him over the last week or so to know exactly what he and what he did meant to everybody. All of my social media feeds, and I expect yours too, were just full of posts and tributes and the classic Van Halen colours that are just like his guitars. But I don't want this video to get too sad or too downbeat. Instead, I just wanted to show some Eddie Van Halen appreciation and why I think he's probably one of the greatest of all time. Now, I don't know any of his riffs, I don't know any of his licks either. I'm obviously aware of Van Halen, but I can't honestly say that their music was directly influential to me. Without him though, there would be no Satriani, no Steve Vai, no Dimebag Darrell, and modern day kind of rock guitar playing in shred would look very, very different. I remember having guitar lessons where we referred to modern shred guitar as the post-Van Halen era. He's so influential, he has a friggin' era of rock guitar named after him. It's similar to the effect that Metallica or Meshuggah had on modern metal. Once everybody heard Eddie Van Halen, everybody wanted to sound like Eddie Van Halen. He was so much more than just a guitar player though, and I think sometimes that gets overlooked. He was an inventor and a businessman and an entrepreneur, and also just kind of a nice positive guy, and I think the world could do with a bit more of that right now. The dude was always smiling, like literally every photo you see of him, he's smiling. They used to call him the grinning guitar player. And when I walk around my flat and look at some of the gear I have, I realize that he's largely responsible for a lot of it. I'm sure he didn't invent the Floyd Rose or the floating tremolo, but boy oh boy were things not the same after he started using them. He also kind of ended up creating the prototype for the modern rock or metal guitar, what we eventually ended up calling the Super Strat. It was a combination of a Stratocaster body, a cheap bolt-on neck, a pickup from a Gibson hollow body of all things, and eventually a Floyd Rose tremolo, which he kind of just Frankenstein together. Literally guitars like this and like this just wouldn't exist without him. He also had the sense to move the volume knob further away from the pickup and remove the tone knob entirely. Take note, guitar companies. Oh, by the way, this also means that he pioneered the use of those janky mod project guitars, those cheap self-assembly things that you do up to your own specs and make better. Yeah, basically all him. Also, where on earth would we be without the 5150 amplifier? Outside of his music, I think this may be the greatest gift that he's given to the rock and metal world. I gotta remember to call them the 5150, not the 5150. I keep calling them the wrong thing. So the 5150 was originally his signature amplifier with PV, but he eventually ended up starting his own company called EVH, where they currently still make the 5150. Ugh, so many numbers. But PV kind of also still make it, they've just rebranded it as the 6505, which is what I have. Let me grab it. My trusty 6505 MH, which I use for basically everything. The 5150 and the 6505 are literally the sound of modern metal. They've been used by so many different bands on so many different records, it's ridiculous. There's got to be a proper list somewhere which shows all of the bands that have used these amps, but honestly, it's probably just easier to say all of them. They are the sound of a generation, and we have Eddie Van Halen to thank for that. Grab an ESP Eclipse or a guitar with active pickups, and one of these, and Bob's your uncle, you've got Metalcore. That's right, I'm saying it, the guy who wrote Hot for Teacher also invented the breakdown. He was also an inventor and had a bunch of patents on things that he'd made. You can actually Google them and look them up. One was a guitar stand thing, so you could play the guitar level. Another was a new type of bridge, which I think you can see on this guitar in this picture. And the last was a guitar headstock, which you might recognize the shape. And remember I mentioned he seemed like a super nice guy? Well, he named one of his guitars that he designed after his son Wolfgang, who was actually a really good bass player. He played bass for Van Halen and in Tremonti as well. And there was also that story that went viral not so long ago about the Tool fan at a gig who asked him to take their photo, not actually knowing who they'd asked to take the photo. He still did it. But also, and this is really, really awesome, the story goes is that Dimebag Darrell, before his death, had mentioned to Eddie that his favorite Van Halen guitar was his 79 yellow and black stripe Bumblebee guitar. So Eddie promised to get a replica of the guitar for Dime as a present before they officially went into production. However, after Dime passed away in 2003, Eddie gave his original Bumblebee guitar, not a replica, to Dimebag's family to be buried with him forever, stating that an original deserves an original. I must have heard that story a million times before, but I'm always still amazed at how cool it is and the generosity there. So, guitar icon, entrepreneur, inventor, nice guy, and for sure, one of the greatest guitar players ever. There's been lots of videos and posts and articles going up paying tribute to Eddie over the last week, and I guess this is mine, but it just felt important to say something. Every guitar player, especially in the rock and metal world, owes him a massive debt of gratitude. And in a way, he'll live on in all of us. Eddie, Rest in peace, sir, and thank you for everything. All right, that'll do it. Do you have any Eddie Van Halen stories of your own? Maybe you met him. Let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and click that notifications bell. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, my name is Pete and I play music.